making our approach to the fort. It is a very scenic and harrowing drive.
It's hotter than the explosion of fiery gunpowder out here. My skin burns, white in complexion.
Today we are storming the forts of historic Fort Duffield. We're in West Point, Kentucky to film the most epic and grand journey yet. Our trip to Tennessee will look minuscule in comparison to this wonderful land laid bare before us. You will no doubt experience hardships and pain, but also pleasures of epic magnitudes upon this journey. Who's filming me?
This hill is uphill and steep. It sucks bad. Just like this war in its entirety and the future of the Confederate soldiers, as the Union soldiers lay waste to them and bury them in the ground, long forgotten. Don't mind the notes, guys. I'm a musician, not a historian. Let me tell you what, guys. Coming out here, I brought all these notes. I was super prepared. I get here, what happens? I forget what I was gonna say. And now I'm just ready to be present. So that's what we're gonna do. No more education. Education is stupid. They never taught you much.
Quit your schools. Billy the cameraman says he can jump this ravine. You may notice that the road we're on looks an awful lot like the intro from Resident Evil 7. Don't worry. No cannibalistic humanoids here. You all didn't know that before I was a musician, I was on American Ninja Warrior. I am Draven2k, and this is my kingdom. Here in West Point, Kentucky, the forest is very scenic. It's very serene. I could spend a day here and not be exhausted. You wonder if perhaps wood nymphs litter the wood. You wonder if perhaps wood nymphs litter the woods, like in the days of old. Surely our forefathers of the 1400s backwards must have been on to something. I do not believe in the mythical world is dead, and today we are here to explore that mythical side of West Point, Kentucky. We have a special guest with us today, my good friend and personal security, Billy. He is paranormal sensitive, or so he says. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're feeling right now, Billy, as we stand by the Memorial Cemetery here in Fort Duffield?
Definitely I get a headache feeling. Definitely kind of a sickness in my stomach. A lot of soldiers in this time period did die from dysentery, botulism, stuff like that.
You guys see down there? Imagine, put yourself in the mind of a Confederate, okay? And you're trying to get at this place. You're not going to be able to make it up here. It's just too steep. The Ohio River's down there. You don't want that. That's why over in this way there was a big wall. It was cheaper. They were smart for that.
And if you look right here, you can see a meteor going straight from Perseus into Draco's tail.
As I walk up this treacherous hill, I think of my fallen brother, both Confederate and Union alike. I look out to the scenery and I think of the blood laid on this once war-torn battlefield. And I think, what if it all could have been avoided? What if we could have got along? As a nonpartisan, I wish we could have avoided this war.
Avoid this! All structures up here in Fort Duffield are reproductions built by volunteers. We will have much to film of these structures lying ahead, and we hope you enjoy the beautiful historic atmosphere of Fort Duffield.
These were put here to avoid cannons. They are 17 feet deep and 9 feet wide. and they are very, very impressive.
From the pinnacle to the pit. I bet our cameraman Billy $5 that he wouldn't touch the spider. I'll be damned, he touched the spider. I'm a man of my word. I'll give him the $5 on it.
All is fair in love and war.
I'll end you on this day. I'd try to see you try. Get up.
Draven, would you like to get in there and show them?
I think I could not fit in there.
That's all right.
Much too hardy for this.
We'll have our cameraman go experiment.
Oh, that is the home of the Reverend. Billy, what do you see down there?
A stool, some dirt.
Dude, hey, this one's got a little upstairs section.
I shouldn't have to say this, but watch for snakes again.
I will now attempt to climb the stairs, Black Rosary style. Surprise, boys, there's nothing really up here.
Behind me is what appears to be a derelict flagpole. This actually brought upon me a memory from youth. In Kentucky, there is a park, Iroquois Park, and I used to hike it as a child with my half-brother. One day while hiking the loop, we were set upon by what appeared to be robed cultists that were dragging some anonymous body across the field. There are no doubt two children, barely off the mother's teat, were frightened by such a revelation. So we ran, and we ran for the East, the civilized East, at the speed of knots, gentlemen. I could not tolerate such wicked buffoonery in my state.
They say no bites, but they do not specify no broom. This land is clearly worth cleaning. Out there we have the Ohio River, and we have a really steep climb right here. There'd be a barrier on that side, and it'd be like a half serpentine. This would be the natural defense mechanism.
You see, Old Glory lays tattered and faded. Could this be symbolic of our nation's divided nature now? Or could it simply be neglect from the park?
Break your chains! Forsake your allegiances! Leave your jobs! Hang out with Black Rosary 24/7 on this epic Duffield adventure!
I hope you are willing to appreciate the treacheries we are willing to brave for you. These stairs have not seen service in many years. We hope you will stick around for the future of our channel. I hope we have been entertaining enough. It was actually founded by soldiers of Fort Duffield who were in desperate need of fresh water as the river is miles away and down a treacherous hike. So when they discovered this spring, they decided to crack it open with sticks of dynamite. Never usually a wise decision, but it seems to have paid off for them in this instance, as even today it flows. Currently it looks a bit stagnant and drained, but typically it is at least flowing. You could fill your canteen, you could take a little break, you might even read your Bible right here and pray to the Lord in times of need.
Let it be known, water that couldn't be supplied from the spring, had to be hauled all the way from the Ohio River. So put yourself in that scenario. They probably made the poor suckers they didn't like do all that work. Like the civil soldiers of old, I find myself battered, in need of water and food. And that, I think, is where we should conclude this video.
From the beginning in the Black Rosary Mobile to this very humble spring behind us, we have walked many miles, gone uphill, gone downhill, explored the in-between, explored the underneath. We have had paranormal encounters, we have had paradimensional encounters, and most of all, we have done this journey with you as an audience, for which we are grateful for. We are Black Rosary, and remember, we did it first.
Adventure is our game and revolution is our name.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.